Anthony here. From prehistoric snapping turtles to fish with some of the largest teeth out there, here are 10 of the most powerful and dangerous river monsters. Number 10. Alligator snapping turtle. Starting off today's list is the alligator snapping turtle, one of the most terrifying river monsters in the world. It may not be that large, but it's certainly terrifying. The alligator snapping turtle looks like a disgruntled dinosaur that got flattened by a truck. It has horribly sharp teeth, evil-looking reptilian eyes, and a shell that's covered in hard spikes. They truly do look like something out of Jurassic Park. Alligator snapping turtles are unique in that they have eyes on the sides of their head, unlike other types of snapping turtles. Also, these are the biggest freshwater turtles in the world. While they may not be long by any stretch of the imagination, they do weigh a tremendous amount. It is claimed that one alligator snapping turtle caught in Kansas in 1937 weighed 400 pounds, though there's no sufficient evidence to confirm it. Nowadays, a male alligator snapping turtle typically weighs around 175 pounds. If you would like to find one in its natural habitat, alligator snapping turtles live exclusively in the United States of America, roaming the rivers from northern Florida to the east of Texas, and even as far north as the borders of Iowa. Number 9. Goliath Tigerfish. The Goliath Tigerfish is one serious monster. Not only is it a beast of a fish, it is also extremely ferocious and aggressive. They live mostly in the Congo River basin and in a few other hotspots in African rivers and lakes. The biggest Goliath Tigerfish ever captured on record was just about an astonishing 5 feet long and weighed over 150 pounds. There are fighters in the UFC that weigh less than that. Plus, this fish is quick, powerful, and mean. According to Animal Planet, not even crocodiles intimidate the Goliath Tigerfish. In fact, the fish has been known to feast on younger and smaller crocodiles, and even to have attacked humans without any fear. They have massive teeth like razors and can do some serious harm to anything they bite, which is basically whatever they want to bite. They're so quick that catching one is nearly impossible, as they can easily snap a fisherman's line. Even scarier is the fish's nearly perfect vision, even when underwater. They can spot a catfish from downriver, swim upon it in seconds, and literally cut it in half with one bite. And now for number 8. But first, be sure to subscribe and let me know if you've ever encountered any of these river monsters in the comments below. Number 8. Red-bellied piranha. Piranhas have held the title of the most vicious river monsters for over 100 years. Ever since Teddy Roosevelt traveled to South America and observed the pack of piranha tearing apart a cow within minutes, excited to absolute madness by the blood in the water. While that was back in 1913, things have not changed much since. Piranhas are still absolutely terrifying, even for such tiny little animals. And while the chances of you being eaten by a pack of piranha while journeying somewhere in South America is pretty low, that doesn't mean they aren't dangerous. Piranhas are actually very old, with fossil evidence putting their ancestors on the continent of South America about 25 million years ago. However, the modern piranha is only about 1.8 million years old. Yeah, piranhas are definitely toothy little fish that can leave you with more than a nibble. They are known wildly for their incredibly sharp teeth and the way they bite relentlessly to cut through the flesh of their prey. In fact, the word piranha actually translates to toothed fish in an ancient Brazilian language known as tupi. The adult red-bellied piranhas have interlocking teeth that line their jaw, making them especially efficient at ripping apart their prey. Number 7. Electric eel. Electric eels are the most dangerous snake-like monsters prowling through the rivers of South America. But while electric eels may look like snakes, they are actually known as knifefish, which are more closely related to catfish than any other type of eel. But don't let that fool you. Electric eels are nothing like catfish. These bizarre creatures can generate an outstanding 800 volts of electricity, which is seriously bad news for anyone who were to grab a hold of one while swimming in a river. And it wouldn't be that hard either, considering that an electric eel can grow to be 8 feet in length. These are huge fish with scaly skin and gross flattened heads. You definitely don't want to meet one of them in their native habitat of South America, where they reside in most countries south of Panama. The eels manage to make electricity because of 3 unique electric organs. That's right, they actually have organs that produce electricity. Their electric organs make up about 80% of their body, with the rest of their vital organs tightly packed inside of them. Their electric organs work by creating intense electric charges which they use for hunting and for defense. Number 6. The short-tailed river stingray. There are a lot of stingrays hanging around in oceans and in rivers. However, the short-tailed river stingray distinguishes itself because of its small tail, whereas other stingray, like the Thai giant freshwater stingray, have extremely long tails. But this stingray doesn't. Its tail is less like a tail and more like a club. These bizarre fish get by thanks to their strange habit of sticking themselves to the bottom of muddy riverbeds. This makes them almost impossible to catch. It's like trying to pull one of the world's strongest suckers off an indestructible mirror. They live mostly in the Parana River of Argentina, where other horrible river monsters like the golden dorado also call home. The stingrays can weigh upwards of 280 pounds, and while they are not inherently dangerous, you definitely would not want to get in a fight with one. Stingrays are indeed carnivores, though it is doubtful one will eat you. But we all know what happened to Steve Irwin, and that is a dangerous lesson about getting too close to any stingray, never mind one that weighs almost 300 pounds. Number 5. Goonch catfish. Any fish enthusiast knows all about the old trick on how to catch a catfish in a river simply by sticking your arm into a muddy hole where the catfish lives and then yanking it out once the catfish bites your arm. However, nobody recommends you do this with the goonch catfish, which happens to be the largest catfish in the entire world. The current world record for the biggest goonch catfish is 6.6 feet in length with a weight of 230 pounds. That is not an animal you want to stick your hand into, no matter how bad you're craving a fish fillet. The goonch catfish lives in both Nepal and India, and they are notoriously difficult to pull out of the river. Just imagine trying to catch a fish that weighs close to double your own weight. And while he never could prove it, Jeremy Wade from the hit show River Monsters once claimed that he saw an overweight goonch catfish while he was diving that could have weighed anywhere between 800 and 2,000 pounds. This all-star fisherman claims that he had hooked that exact same fish but was unable to catch it. And who can blame him? Who could possibly catch a 2,000-pound fish? Number 4. Payara. The payara is also known as the vampire fish, and while this small-sized river monster is not particularly scary on the outside, go ahead and take a look at its terrifying teeth. This fish is fast and aggressive. It can swallow its prey whole, and it has some of the meanest fangs of any sea creature. For its tiny size, reaching only about 4 feet in length and only about 40 pounds, they have fangs that can be up to 6 inches long. Their bottom fangs are so long that their upper jaw has special holes that they fit into. It's like if you had 2 bottom teeth that were so long they had to be inserted into special passages that reached beneath your nose. It should be no surprise that these so-called vampire fish are one of the most popular aquarium pets in the world. Everyone wants to watch their vampire fish feeding with their massive teeth. However, they don't live that long in an aquarium or in captivity at all, nor do they grow particularly large. Like many fish, these ones don't like being caged. According to Animal World, their natural home is in South America, specifically in the Orinoco River in Venezuela and in the Amazon River. Number 3. Lamprey. Lamprey, I believe, are the most terrifying river monsters in the entire world. And I'm not the only one who believes it. These disgusting suckfish have the grossest mouth of any creature under the sea or above it. They are often referred to as lamprey eels because of their snake-like bodies. They are a parasitic fish native to the Atlantic Ocean, but they have roamed far, invading rivers and lakes wherever their disgusting little bodies can make it. A report from the National Ocean Service claims lamprey are currently wreaking havoc on the Great Lakes in North America and are being labeled as the first destructive invasive species to pose a serious threat to other Canadian wildlife. These fish are particularly dangerous because they feed on other fish, with a single lamprey killing about 40 pounds of fish per year. They especially like to kill lake and river trout using their suction cup mouth. Inside their mouth are many rings of hooked, horny teeth which pierce flesh extremely easily. Once attached to their prey, the lamprey uses its tongue to literally scour off the flesh of the other fish so that it can suck out the blood and bodily fluids from the unsuspecting host. This is like a leech, only 100 times worse. I would not want a team of lampreys stuck anywhere on this body. Number 2. Giant snakehead. A giant snakehead is a seriously nasty fish, though you have to admit they do look pretty cool. The giant snakehead is native to the rivers and lakes in and around South and Southeast Asia, all the way from Vietnam to India, but they are incredibly invasive and a huge threat to ecosystems not their own. These crazy and terrifying river monsters can grow to be more than 6 feet long. They have razor-sharp teeth and predatory skills that are nothing to mess with. In fact, these fish have a reputation for being malicious, killing more than it can even eat. Not only is a giant snakehead extremely dangerous, but it is killing at random. The giant snakehead is basically a serial killer fish, and it is loose in the rivers all over Asia, destroying steadily all in its path. Number 1. Arapaima. This is one of the biggest river fish in the world, and it is nothing to mess with. The arapaima is sleek, absolutely huge, and dominates the streams of the Amazon River, particularly in the Amazon River basin. This unique fish has 2 very strange characteristics. First of all, it can breathe air. The fish can stay submerged underwater for about 20 minutes at a time, but it can survive on land with no water for a full 24 hours. It's like it can't decide which end of the evolutionary spectrum it's on. Its second amazing ability is that its mouth works like a vacuum. It opens its massive mouth and creates such astonishing pressure that it can suck up nearby food just like a vacuum. They grow to be about 440 pounds and 10 feet long. As you can imagine, that is one big fish to find in a stream or a river. And while they don't particularly enjoy eating humans, they are powerful enough to swim straight into you with a nasty headbutt, which could leave a bruise, push the air right out of your lungs, or leave you stunned and breathless below the surface. Which of these river monsters astonishes you the most? Let me know in the comments section, and thank you for watching. Don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already, and I'll see you next time for another amazing video.